Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your Sunday. We also have your Boredom Busters coming up, but first, our top story. Well, as you can see in our live cam shot, cleanup from last weekend's snowstorm is starting to wind down in Sioux Falls. City plows and trucks were part of the heavy equipment dispatched to downtown Sioux Falls early this morning. The crews picked up and hauled away the piles of snow that accumulated downtown following the plowing operations that began on Thursday. Plows were busy Saturday clearing snow from the side streets in the outer neighborhoods of Sioux Falls. Our above freezing temperatures are helping melt some of that snow that fell last week, and with rain in the forecast for this week, neighborhoods across KELOLAND could get plenty soggy and slushy and filled with standing water. The city of Sioux Falls is urging homeowners to prepare for the rain by clearing a path to nearby storm drains. Also, check your downspouts to make sure that they're not clogged. And clear snow around the foundation of your home, and check to make sure that your sump pump is working properly. 2 people were hurt, including a Pennington County Sheriff's deputy, following a garage fire southeast of Rapid City. It happened Friday morning on East Highway 44 near the small town of Caputa. Firefighters were able to keep the fire from spreading to other nearby buildings. The deputy received first-degree burns after helping a resident out of the garage. That resident suffered second- and third-degree burns and smoke inhalation. A family dog died in that fire. A Sioux Falls restaurant owner is doing her part to end hunger in South Dakota. Sanaz Gourmet Mediterranean hosted a lunch buffet Saturday, asking customers to make a minimum donation of $10, with all of the money going to Feeding South Dakota.
My dream is to have no child hungry anywhere in the world, but we can start from home, and hopefully somebody else do it in other states and other countries.
Sanaz raised $4,200, surpassing their goal of $3,000. Now, if you missed the lunch, you can still make a donation at the restaurant until Tuesday. An organization of outdoorsmen that was founded nearly 20 years ago hit a big milestone in fighting hunger across the state. Sportsmen Against Hunger started in 1993 as a small local program by 2 hunters, 1 processor, and a few hundred pounds of meat. In 2005, the program went statewide. The organization encourages hunters and anglers to donate meat and fish to help feed people locally. They just hit the 1 million pound mark of donated meat last summer. Now, coming up on tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Carter Schmidt explains why the program is important and how you can get involved. Be sure to watch tonight at 10. Let's get a first look at the forecast now with meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, everybody. It is a busy forecast. We're looking at a lot of snow, a lot of rain, freezing rain this week. So as it stands this morning, we have a winter storm watch for western, central, big area of even northeast South Dakota here. A lot of it is due to the threat of heavy snow in excess of 6 inches is a starting point, but there's going to be all sorts of conversations about 1 foot or more in parts of KELOLAND. We also have, in addition to that, a heavy mixed precipitation scenario in southwest and west central Minnesota, and that spills over into northeast South Dakota, especially the Coteau, Buffalo Ridge areas where we could get some icing that is somewhat significant. Sioux Falls, not included in any of those watches at this time, but we're only getting started. We've got a long week of inclement weather, but the moisture, I guess if you want to look at some positives, there's definitely that, and it's still going to be 59 today in Rapid City. A full look at the forecast, Perry, in a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Well, Saturday was the Salvation Army's Match Day, when every donation of $20 is matched up to $100 by other donors. The past 7 years, Jane Egan and others within her retirement community have raised money for this match day. This year, she and 150 others raised close to $2,000. That means their donation is bumped up to close to $10,000 with the matching contribution. Egan and her good friend Lois say the need in Sioux Falls is growing, and they want to do their part to help.
It is important to me because I know the needs that we have right here in Sioux Falls, and I'm just glad that money stays here and goes to help these people.
Match Day is one of the largest days of donations for the Salvation Army. Locally, 300 additional families have come to the Sioux Falls office seeking help for the holidays. First Congregational Church in Sioux Falls is hosting a German Christmas service starting at 2 p.m. This is the 50th year of the service, which has traditionally been held next door at First Lutheran Church. There will be coffee, German cookies, and other treats served after the service. Canton Lutheran Church is hosting a live nativity with showings at 5:30, 6, and 6:30 p.m. There will also be a soup supper in the fellowship hall. A Christmas celebration cantata will be held at 4 p.m. The Ace Academy in Sioux Falls is hosting a kids' holiday market from 1 to 4 p.m. Items in the market are priced at just $5, so children can experience gift giving at an affordable rate. While the kids are shopping, adults are invited to enjoy refreshments and shop at the bake sale. There will also be photos with Santa Claus. Admission is free. Vendors are selling handmade crafts and other items during the holiday market in Watertown. It's taking place from 10 to 4 at the Coddington County Extension Complex. Admission is $1, which will be donated to a local charity. Children 12 and under are free. Brian?
All right, our forecast here as we begin the outlook here today. First of all, a pretty nice day, really, on this Sunday. We've got temperatures in Sioux Falls climbing back into the lower 30s, a southeast wind about 10 to 20. Now, Pierre, back to the 40s today, looking likely, and also Rapid City in the mid and upper 50s late this afternoon. So tonight we continue with a southeast wind. We're going to see temperatures dropping off into the 20s for most of us. And then I think for Rapid City we'll actually be falling or seeing a wind switch occurring during the late morning and early afternoon. So far, the radar trends through Monday afternoon, they're not too high yet. We could see some pockets of drizzle or some of those lighter modes of moisture initially here. But let's ramp this up, I think, Monday night into Tuesday morning. Now, if you look at this, what can you take away from this map? Well, first of all, you got temperatures close to freezing in Sioux Falls, so that's problematic. Number two, you see some intense colors of orange and red. I have to remember to say this intentionally. There will be some lightning and thunder with this storm as things kind of blossom here on the radar. Initially, it should be warm enough that there will be some rain that'll get lofted all the way even into Pierre and probably Aberdeen. So that's one part of this thing. Rapid, though, even by midnight Tuesday, well, early Tuesday mornings already cooling off with north winds there. Now, the low, as it comes out into western Nebraska here Monday night, this is really important. You have to watch how slow this is. It takes pretty much all day long to move from just southwest of North Platte, Nebraska. Maybe it gets here between Valentine and O'Neill late in the day on Tuesday. So you got your rain ahead of it. You probably are looking at some icing, especially as we've talked about this, the more the wind goes around to the east. If we have to change the forecast and include more of an easterly wind, I will be much more concerned about ice. If we can say that the wind is switching to the southeast, then that leads to more rain. It's all a matter of kind of driving those details here as we start to hammer in on some of the specifics here. Now, you notice you got a mess of rain, freezing rain, snow, central South Dakota already Tuesday morning, but it should end up becoming mostly a snow event for Pierre. Even Aberdeen most likely will become a heavy snow event. Sioux Falls, it's going to be a lot longer period of teetering on the edge of 32 to 34, and you know how it is. I mean, we already have a lot of snow on the ground, so Sioux Falls is going to be sloppy at the very least. And then if we have to put in ice here to southwest Minnesota, we'll continue to watch that. Now, on Wednesday, we still have that storm around. Did you notice how long it's taken to get from just western or southwest Nebraska getting up close to O'Neill by Wednesday morning? I think there'll be snow north and west of the low. I think when Sioux Falls gets involved, when that low gets awfully close, it might actually dry slot and kind of shut down the moisture for a while. So don't think it's going to be just continuously snowing or raining the whole time. That's not the case. But probably what will happen is eventually this thing will kick into gear on Thursday. It'll pull in some snow on the backside of it. I would say Sioux Falls, you know, could get a plowable snow, but we're not in the bullseye. Sioux Falls is not going to get the heaviest snow out of this storm. That's going to occur to the north and west. One other side note on this thing, as we get into the weekend, there's a chance we might have another little wave slip down from the northwest. And boy, oh boy, are we ever prone to some, you know, at this point, once we get all this snow, anything little that comes up becomes a problem because we've got so much of it around, assuming our forecast pans out. And I think it will for many sections of South Dakota. Here's a closer look at the wind forecast. Again, a southeast wind today. We're going to carry that wind tomorrow more out of the south or southeast. Look at this wind on Tuesday morning. It's going to be gusting close to 40 miles per hour in Sioux Falls and Brookings. So you can imagine if we're getting some freezing rain with that wind, that is a problem. You know, there's going to be some possibilities of some power issues in southwest Minnesota if this keeps going down this same road. Rapid City, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts Tuesday morning. If it's snowing, it's obviously going to be a pretty tough forecast. Pierre, Mobridge, Aberdeen, we pick up some wind into Tuesday. It's not terribly strong, but considering the snow we're forecasting, it'll definitely be hampering travel. And then the wind. Sioux Falls, now this is interesting. Sioux Falls gets a break in the wind on Wednesday. If we get right in the middle or the eye of the storm, literally speaking, it will actually calm down. It may stop with the moisture. You might think things are over, but don't be fooled by that. Here it comes. Northwest wind Thursday. That's when Sioux Falls will probably pick up that snow at the tail end of this storm. And then, yeah, things will get cold after that. In terms of numbers and snow probabilities, your chances of a foot of snow in that central area of South Dakota are really good. But we have a lot of homework yet to do on how to expand that out. You know, we can look at Mobridge, for example. Some of the probabilities are still pretty good in this area of South Dakota. But I just, at this point, put 6+. We'll start there, and then we'll just add layers of information to this forecast as we unpack things. Sioux Falls is definitely in some snow, but not as much. And a lot of this is later. You know, we got to kick this down the road, mostly speaking, into probably late Wednesday or Thursday. To cap it all off, is this the frosting on the cake? No, it's not. This is a real serious deal, folks. We've got a major outbreak of cold before Christmas, and I think the probability of seeing temperatures some 30 degrees below normal is a real threat. That means sub-zero. Even daytime highs are going to have struggles. Considering the expansiveness and the depth of the snow, that will even increase our chances of developing all of that later. So please enjoy today. 59 in Rapid City, 32 in Sioux Falls. Here is your forecast tonight. 20s out there, I think, for the most part. And the 7-day forecast. Wet week at times. We've got snowy periods here Wednesday into Thursday, and eventually it just gets colder. The Aberdeen forecast also begins as kind of a messy mix. Some rain, then to probably all snow developing through or transitioning on Tuesday. Snow heavy at times on Wednesday, and that snow in Pierre should linger pretty good into Wednesday and Thursday, and I would highlight you folks as probably the best shot at this really widespread heavy snow this week. Then it's cold at the end. Rapid City, yep, you definitely are in the talk of this snow. There are probably a few more elements still to iron out for the Black Hills as to how much, but there certainly could be some hefty snow there too. Check out details. We got a lot more information right here online at KELOLAND.com.